I'm MarzGurl.
I'm JoshKnightTheFirst.
And welcome to episode 17 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover episode 17 of City Hunter, titled Summer's Beautiful Designer, Ryo's Heart Belongs to the High Cut Type.
It's about swimsuits.
Yes, it's about fashion. It's about catty people in fashion, and it's really cut and dry this week.
Yeah, I gotta admit, this was not, super exciting. Why don't we just talk about it, because there's no deep diving into culture to do here, really.
No deep diving for an episode that focuses around swimsuits. It's funny, there's no pool.
There's one.
Actually, there is a pool.
It
here at the
literally
beginning.
starts with a swimming pool. I don't know why you said that.
So our opener for the episode are kind of, I know it's not the cold open, but it's the little bit of episode we get before the title screen is at a pool, and we see that the women at the pool are worried about what they believe to be Jaws swimming through the pool.
Because that's something to really be concerned about.
Now, to be fair, I've heard tale of a lot of people who, after the movie came out, after Jaws came out, were stupidly afraid of Jaws showing up in public pools.
Okay, well, this was 10 years after Jaws.
I know.
Okay, well, more than? It was 70 what? Because I'm thinking
I don't
70,
remember off the top of my head.
Whatever, it was more than a decade removed from Jaws.
Jaws, yeah.
Okay.
So, the idea of Jaws being in a pool is stupid, but there's something shark-like going through the water.
I kind of want to bring up here, maybe one thing I should have done was check the correlating manga chapter, because I'll say this much. So you know how the manga has a whole lot of boners in it.
Of course.
But you can't show the boners in the anime,
right.
Which is why he says mokkori all the time, okay?
Yes.
I recall when I was doing research a long time ago, oh my god, Hojo did this alternate manga called, Angel...
Not Angel Heart. You're talking about a different one.
No, Angel Heart.
Oh, so you are talking about Angel Heart. Okay.
Hojo did this alternate manga called Angel Heart, where at a certain point, everything in City Hunter happened, except it gets to a point where Kaori dies. And that part continues on and is considered to be an alternate timeline. Okay, whatever. Right in the beginning, chapter 1, and it's true of the anime adaptation of Angel Heart as well, Ryo is swimming around in a swimming pool, just like this, and people are freaked out oh my god, we see a shark fin going through the water! What is going on? And Ryo jumps out of the water, and it's his dick. It's a boner swimming upright through the water.
So he's doing the backstroke, basically, to show off his boner.
Yes, in a pool full of women. I'm really wondering, because this looks a whole lot like something else Hojo definitely does at another point in time with Ryo.
So you're saying that Hojo is being self-referential with Angel Heart?
Entirely possible, yes.
Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up in relation to this is that eventually we'll cover the Jackie Chan-led adaptation of City Hunter. You remember the pool scene in that movie?
Yes.
I kind of got a similar vibe here of
That's true.
Maybe they took a page from this for the movie.
The pool scene there, though, is a dream he's having, though, right? Isn't it?
No, he's not having a dream. He's trying to hide himself to make sure that nobody sees that he's there.
Oh, okay. I remembered it as a dream, but I could be wrong.
No, there is a dream sequence there, but that's way earlier in the movie.
Okay, whatever. I believe you.
So let's go ahead and talk about our client for the week. Her name is Midori Ohara. She is a swimwear designer and fashion model who's been doing very well in the world of fashion right now, and apparently, just recently, all of her new swimsuits that she has designed for an upcoming show have been stolen.
Dun dun dun. And Ryo is like, oh, well, we can't have that. Were you wearing the swimsuits? And she's like, no, I designed them. And he's like, oh, well, I guess we should get them back anyway. Okay, whatever.
I mean, you hired me. I'll kind of help out here. Now, do you have any leads for us? Who could it possibly be? And she's like, oh, I know exactly who did it.
Yeah, so what's the name of this other fashion designer who's been, he's been down in the dumps, and I've been letting him use my designs and have him put his name on it.
Yes, so the other fashion designer that we're referencing here is a man by the name of Toshio Yonezawa, who's the president of Yonenbo, a rival fashion company. Midori tells us that, yes, her designs have been pilfered by him for years now, and he's just kind of putting his name on them.
Yes.
I like your work, just put my name on it. It's cool. You're not gonna get exposure. I'll get exposure for both of us. Just put my name on it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But really, she just wants the swimsuits back, and so they're gonna have to infiltrate. This guy's gonna have a fashion show at his place. His place is a castle. castle, okay?
It's the Magic Kingdom.
It's the Magic Kingdom. It's Castle Cagliostro.
I was thinking that too. I didn't want to bring it up while we were rewatching. It looks like Castle of Cagliostro a bit. Also, again, going back to the fashion here, Midori is wearing the same outfit the whole episode. She's got this kind of light blue, pink, like Kamen Rider Revice number going on here.
Okay.
And when they're going to sneak in to Yonezawa's castle, I really like Kaori's fit going in. She's got this nice blazer, blue, like weird button-up 80s style underneath,
She's
and
got
these
strong
purple pants.
She's got strong bi energy going on.
Very much so.
But very attractive though. Like, it's very cute, and it's like both strong and feminine at the same time.
Yeah, I really like it.
It's cool, actually.
Whereas Ryo, all he did was, again, he's throwing on Makimura's glasses, and he put on a button-up. That's it. Otherwise, it's the same outfit he always wears.
And then all he has to say when he's walking up is, "Oh yes, I write for this French fashion magazine."
Yeah, for Paris Mode magazine. So what's happening here is after they've decided to take the case, they're riding up in the Mini up to the castle, and Ryo is filling in Kaori about what they're going to have to do when they get there. So it shouldn't be anything major. I'm going to go look for the swimsuits and women. You are going to distract Yonezawa, because I've done my research. Yonezawa has a particular type, and that's you. And Kaori takes this as a compliment, which I would too in her position. Like, oh, he must have great taste.
And it turns out to be true that Yonezawa's over here like, "Oh, you're beautiful. Why don't you come with me? There's something I'm dying to have you try on. I've got this new fashion that I haven't let anybody else wear. Why don't you put this on?" And Kaori's like, "Oh, that's great. See, he really does think the world of me. Oh, that's awesome." Meanwhile, she uses this as an opportunity to be like, "While I'm here, hey, where are the swimsuits? I'd really love to see them."
And he's just like, "Oh, we'll get to that later. Here's the exact location of where they are, but don't worry about that right now. Here's the present."
I'm keeping them in a warehouse, but before we go to the warehouse, go put this on. It's a swimsuit just for you. "Oh, thank you. So I'm gonna have a swimsuit too, and maybe I can even model for him in the fashion show. Hey, wait, this is not the swimsuit I thought it was gonna be." And Yonezawa is shouting from the outside of the changing room like, "Well, don't you like it? It's a traditional Japanese swimsuit like all traditional Japanese men wear."
So in case you didn't know going into the episode, Yonezawa happens to be gay.
Because they did the stereotype of the gay fashion man.
And Kaori, once more, has been mistaken for male. To which she reacts like you would figure in her particular situation. She clocks him with the hammer.
Well, it didn't help that he tried to peek in on her while she was changing, and he very much reacted like, "Oh no, boobs! I do not like boobs!" And he ran away, and she hits him over the head with a hammer. Haha. Might be a hate crime, I don't know. It's not. It isn't, because this dude just looked in on her regardless.
While she was changing.
While she was changing, regardless. And she did. And understandably, I would not be comfortable with that, regardless of who that was, especially if I do not know that person. So.
Exactly. You've met this man for literally only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's already trying to take a peek at your goods.
Yeah. And he just thought they were different goods, that's all.
Now, in the meantime, while all this misunderstanding's going down, Ryo's sneaking his way through the castle. Unfortunately, he's not finding any princesses or Jigen or anybody else from Lupin. He's looking around. He's like, all right, Kaori's doing her job. I'm going to see if I can find these swimsuits. Wait! And his super hearing kicks in, which it hasn't in a little bit, but it's still there, just reminding the audience he has super hearing. If he has any sort of superpower, it's that. And he goes towards the sound, and he just happens to find out that Yonezawa, his castle, happens to have a secret grotto for bathing women.
Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense if he's gay, but I guess if all of his models are all women, then he figures, just let them be happy, I guess. So give them a grotto where they can all bathe together.
And it's like, even me watching the episode, I have to be like, Ryo, did you wish really hard today? Because this is like too perfect for you. And Kaori walks up, and of course she sees what's going on, whacks him in the head
with a hammer, kicks him through the door, and all the women are screaming. And well, Ryo, you got what you deserved because you were looking at these women without their permission. So that was just bound to happen, man.
And he's like, no, it's cool. I'm with the magazine. And then you hear an alarm go off, and he's like, crap, we've been found out. He sees the guards for the castle running towards him. He pulls his gun. That's the thing that gets me. He could probably have kept up up the lie just a little bit longer.
Uh-huh.
But for whatever reason, the guards don't even register that he's pulled a gun on them. Because they're running completely past him and being like, all right, we gotta get to the courtyard. That's where somebody's breaking in. Let's go, let's go. If it was me, I'm just spitballing here. If it was me and I saw someone pointing a gun at me and I'm a security guard, I would probably figure that's the person who broke in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And even if they're not the person who broke in, I don't know this guy. And he's pointing a gun at me.
He's pointing a gun at me, and I'm just running directly into the guy with the gun. You're lucky the guy with the gun decided not to shoot you.
Because thankfully, Rio has trigger discipline, which worked in their favor, and working in his favor, they're stupid. So good on that. But it turns out the intruder that they're trying to catch, and they do, is just Midori. She broke into the mansion herself to try and do the thing she's paid someone else to do.
Yeah, that part didn't make a lot of sense to me. She literally was unnecessary to this episode. Past hiring Rio to do the thing, we did not need her to be there.
Well, see, here's the thing. So, going back a little bit, when Rio has the first interaction with Midori, he's going over, oh, wow, I've seen your prints for like a month now. I've been, obsessing over you with my eyes.
They've been hanging all over these buildings and billboards and stuff. Yeah.
For my payment, you say your type of style of swimsuit is super high cut leg. Do a fashion show for just me personally, and I'll take that as payment. Which I imagine they must be having a good month right now if he thinks I don't need yen right now.
Oh, I think he's just an idiot. I think
he could just be a horny idiot.
I think he could just be like, yeah, I need to eat, but I'm also more horny than I am hungry, I guess.
That's real. That's real. And so once we get to this point, compared to then at the very beginning, he's oogling her, but he doesn't get to fondling.
Okay.
He's closer to fondling any of the other models that are there at Yonezawa's palace. But as far as Midori goes, he never makes a bigger move for her than he does with other women, and I don't understand why that is.
Well, there was that brief moment of, he grabbed her by the wrist or whatever to be like, let's go find your swimsuits right now! That's...
We haven't gotten to that part yet.
That was the beginning of the episode.
But he was being weird about that of, they might still have your scent on them. And
yeah, that was bizarre.
You're being a freak.
Yes, he was absolutely being weird.
Up front, but he doesn't continue it beyond that, which to me is weird for him.
Not when he's surrounded by a bunch of women.
So you're saying he was too distracted to remember?
He was extremely distracted. There's women everywhere. He can't be super focused on just one of them.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that makes more sense. But even then, you have paid this man to do this work for you, and then you're like, no, I'm gonna go down there myself. I'll do it. Were you going to use him as a distraction? And you obviously didn't have a plan because you got caught.
She didn't know where they were being kept either, because Kaori had to go and ask, hey, where are they? And dude's like, they're in this warehouse. What did they do? They didn't call her to tell her, hey, we learned the location of the swimsuits. They're in this warehouse. Come down here and then go to the warehouse, blah, blah, blah. That didn't happen.
No, it didn't. She just went down there. And did she forget? What was going on? She's not distracted by anything. I mean, I get that she's obsessing, I need my work back because I want credit for my own work. That makes sense, but I wouldn't be so stupid as to be like, man, even if he asked for a private swimsuit modeling session, I probably paid him up front at least, 5 figures. I should let him do his work. No, I'm gonna go down there myself. It's the sweeper who's wrong.
It's the professional who knows what he's doing that doesn't know what he's doing. And
so here's the part I don't get. So she gets brought to Yonezawa and she's like, I just want the swimsuits back. I won't even talk about the thing. And they don't really go into detail about the thing. I assume they're talking about him stealing her designs.
Or some kind of blackmail to keep her from taking her designs back or something. I don't know. Or maybe she means I won't talk to anybody about the fact that you literally just kidnapped me.
Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe that's what they meant by that.
Just give me back the designs. I won't even press charges. I won't talk. And Yonezawa was like, I bet you won't talk. And then they immediately chloroform her.
Does this rag smell like chloroform?
Hey, does this rag smell like chloroform to you? And then they do the really tired trope of all right, we're going to put her in the car.
Put the car in neutral. And roll it down the cliff and into the sea. And let her drown. And unfortunately for them, Rio watched it happen and they walked away before it totally sank into the water, and they checked to make sure she really drowned.
So stop me for a second here. So Yonezawa's brilliant plan here. He's chloroformed her. The last place she would have been seen, I imagine she's left some trace of herself somewhere around the mansion. She suddenly would go missing, and then she would suddenly end up in her car just at the bottom of the hill beneath your castle, and you don't think that looks suspicious to you.
Hey, so we're the cops, and we heard that she went missing. We eventually found the car after so much time passed. It's outside your door, man. Why was she there?
And why was it in neutral? Why would you put her car in neutral? She had a show coming next week. You want to... Like, I imagine Columbo would have had this done in 5 minutes. Like,
it's so weird to me. I see she was found in the sea just beneath your castle. Why is that?
Yeah, if she wanted to drown herself in the sea, she could have just hit the gas. But you can't just hit the gas when the car is in neutral. You gotta put it at least into third gear, alright? Like, put it in drive... and then drive into the ocean. She wanted to, like, slowly watch herself drown? I don't understand, man.
None of that would hold. Like, nobody is thinking right now. Midori's not thinking. Yonezawa's not thinking. Nobody is thinking.
The guy who executed the plan was not thinking, because, like I said, he put the car in neutral, he saw the car hit the water, and he's like, that's good enough.
That's close enough, I gotta go back inside.
And he walks away before making sure the car goes completely underwater. And of course, Rio is there. He's like, well, that means I've got plenty of time to go and get her, and nobody's even gonna see that I rescued her.
Unfortunately, she swallowed some water, so she is currently kind of drowning in the lungs, so... She needs some help. She needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, or as Rio says it because he's trying to say, mouse to mouse.
Mouse to mouse, yes.
Mouse to mouse, 2 mice.
2 mice, 2 fashion...
Too fashion, too furious.
Screw it. I've got
You almost had it.
No, I was nowhere close.
Okay.
Let's just be real here. But I like that he had some back and forth in his own head, where in character, of course, he wants to be a perv and just kiss somebody, regardless of whether or not they want to be kissed by him, which is kind of a creepy thing. And that City Hunter, but also he's going, no, this isn't the right time to be thinking that way. She's like literally dying in my arms. So he's trying to do the right thing, but also he can't help but feel like I really want to kiss this person even though they're almost dead.
So as he's giving her mouth to mouth, that's when Kaori decides to just at the right moment pop up and be like, oh hell no, you're not doing this. Pulls out the divine punishment hammer, the Tenchu hammer. She uses that one quite a bit other than the 100-ton hammer. Whacks him in the head again. He's getting a lot of hit shots to the head this week. And he's like, no, for real, I was just trying to save her life. I promise you.
Yeah, and she wakes up and is like, oh, I'm sorry that happened, Rio. And even Kaori's kind of like, she's grumbling about it, but she's like, he really was kind of trying to do the right thing, and I hit him anyway. And he's having to play it off like, she's just mean to me like this all the time. Maybe I'll just go and be a bad boy because she already thinks I am one.
Like he's trying to play it off like this is his Joker origin.
No, it's okay. You saved my life. You did the right thing.
Also,
he's totally tricked this woman.
Also, I mean, that was my first kiss.
And I hate this trope in anime so much because, like, that's not what a kiss is. Mouth to mouth isn't a kiss. I don't think it should ever count, ever.
But you think about all the times, not even in Japanese media, even in American media, you see that a lot. You think of The Sandlot.
I know.
You think of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, but The Sandlot, if you've seen The Sandlot, then you know the kid was never drowning.
I'll give you that.
And the mouth-to-mouth he got was from the
lifeguard.
Was from the lifeguard who was legitimately trying to save his life, and he, not actually drowning at all, tried to kiss her back.
Right.
That was actually a kiss, and an unwanted kiss, that happened because of that circumstance. That was not real mouth-to-mouth.
But then you remember in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when... I forget the names of the kids at this point, but the neighbor kid is kissing the older Zelensky kid, the older sister, and the younger brother asks, where'd you learn to do that? And he says, French class.
I remember that line,
and then they hold on to that till the end of the movie where the kid finally gets it. I get it! French
class! Yeah, I almost forgot. I'm shocked somewhere in the back of my memory I actually remember those lines, because I haven't seen that movie
because
in
the
years.
joke is the kids just now realizing, oh, he was kissing my sister. He wasn't trying to save her life. So I feel that there's shades of that here. It's around the right time period, at least for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, give or take 2 years. Maybe 2 years earlier. Because I'm pretty sure Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was 89, if I'm not mistaken.
So Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is 2 years after this.
Yeah, but you can see it happens everywhere. People see this trope come up over and over again, no matter where you are.
Yes, but there's a difference between it started out as mouth to mouth, and that's mouth to mouth. This did not transition into a kiss. This was her thinking, I got mouth to mouth, is that a kiss? That's different.
Maybe it wasn't a kiss unless...
Unless it was.
And that's a whole different trope. So after everything's been straightened out there, Rio explains, okay, we're going to get your stuff back, but that's not all we're going to do. We gotta put on our own show.
We gotta embarrass the crap out of this guy.
So I imagine before they made it back to the mansion, to the palace, to Yonezawa's house of fashion, they had to have taken a quick trip by the nearest Don Quixote. And you see why, because they get there, first thing they do is they liberate her swimsuit designs. Great. That's what they were supposed to do in the first place.
In fact, does that even happen on camera?
No, it happens off camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember actually seeing them like, yay, we did it, we got them back. The thing that this entire episode was about.
So, for what it's worth, I give credit to Rio of being like, okay, we're done playing around, they've already tried to kill you. First things first, business. We liberate your suits. I've already cemented that I'm getting paid, because I have done the thing you paid me to do. The rest is extra service. So what's happening here is tonight at Yonezawa's palace, they're having a fashion show for his designs, which are really supposed to be Midori's designs that he's stolen.
He's being a catty bitch to the people.
All of the guests?
To the people at the party, the pre-show party, who, like, to their face, he's being nice to them. There's kind of this overweight woman who's like, oh, your fashion is so beautiful. And he's like, oh, well, you are also beautiful, ma'am. Oh, you're flattering me. And he walks away and he thinks to himself internally, yeah, but these swimsuits will never be for you. Go and look in the mirror. Like, really, really petty gay is what this guy is like.
Like, this guy's one to talk with him dressed like he's trying to be fashionista Black Ghost from Cyborg 009. Dude, you go look in a mirror.
Yeah. Well, he's also not the one who's gonna be wearing the swimsuits, so.
Clearly. The models are, Rio goes to the models, delivers, here's your new suits. Hey, can I help you change into those? Coyote's like, nope, we don't need that. The show starts, and again, I'm wondering if Midori is just stupid, because as the show is starting, she's just there in the audience just staring at him.
Well, I think part of it is mind games, okay? He really thought she was dead, and so she stands out in the audience clearly where he can see her, just so that it can shake him up to be like, you didn't successfully kill me.
But see, that's the thing I'm wondering about. Did Rio tell her, okay, go stand here to mess with him? Or did she just kind of wander out into the audience and be like,
what's going on out here?
Oh, there's a show tonight? Like that, it kind of comes off that way.
I understand.
Because she's not looking at him with concern
she's got a look
or contempt.
She looks confused.
She looks like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, don't worry about that. Here's the fashion show. Enjoy, everybody. And the models come out.
And they're wearing like Halloween costumes. One of them is like a sexy version of that yokai that's like a parasol. You know, the ghost monster.
And one's like a tiger. And one's like, I don't... like a mountain, like it's weird.
The one like tiger cat girl has for some reason like an octopus on her butt. I don't know. Like just weird Halloween-y looking costumes. Okay.
Like Iron Cosplay looks better than what they're wearing right now.
But of course that's the point. That's the point of what's happening. It's to embarrass the ever-loving crap out of this fashion designer who's been stealing fashions for years, and it works. This whole audience is like, oh, this is effing weird, man. We're out of here. Bye!
Yeah, I'm pulling my support. You know, the woman he was being catty to earlier is like, you can take me off of your donor list.
I feel like both of these sets of people, mind you, they're all catty and they're all petty.
They all drove Mercedes-Benzes up here.
They just super petty back and forth that I would not want to live in that universe ever at all. In this world of fashion and petty bullshit where if one thing didn't go the way you expected, then like, oh, well, I never. And
never.
And I will never be back.
Then leave. Like,
That's
me coming from a customer service background.
Yeah.
So, okay, we cement again. Ryo has already done his job. He has liberated the suits. Now he's gone a step further. He has humiliated Yonezawa. He's already done his job and then some. But no, now he's got to take it to the next level. I'm gonna blow his house up.
Yeah, that's a bit too far, man. I do feel like that's a little far.
Like, he goes so far, like, Yonezawa is like, okay, the suits weren't there, the moms weren't wearing them, I'm just gonna go down to the basement to the warehouse and I'm going to burn the suits myself. And on his way down there, Ryo's already laying out TNT Wile E. Coyote style.
Yeah, pouring it out of the spout, out of a barrel or something.
Out of an Acme barrel with the Japanese stamp on it saying TNT, be careful. And he's like, no, if you're gonna go out, go big, man. Look what I got. And they light it on fire and the house blows up.
This enormous Disneyland theme park-sized castle blows up and falls into the ground.
Fall of the House of Yonezawa is what we're saying to you.
Sure, whatever.
And it just sinks down slow style like you see in a lot of anime. When a giant building goes down, you know, it's that slow shake down.
Or like, do you know Super Mario World, okay? And you've just defeated one of the Koopa kids at the end of a castle, and then you come out of the castle and and Mario has gone out here and he's blown up the castle with TNT and the castle rumbles like and it just kind of falls into the ground. That's literally how this looks, just like that. It's just like that.
So Ryo has been playing Super Mario Brothers.
No, because Super Mario World would not come out for another...
Oh, no, you said World. You said World, not Brother. Yeah, you're right,
Super Mario World would not come out for another 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And Yonezawa's just like, I'm ruined! And that's the last we see of him. Nothing more to do there. And the episode wraps up really quick again this week. Midori has her own fashion show with an American announcer, and at least an English-speaking announcer. Ladies and gentlemen, Suits by Midori Ohara. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And we only see like a couple of like rolling still shots of the women in the fashion shoots. And they're very, very high cut.
I mean, it proved that they got them, that they were wearing them. They got them back. I feel like we missed an opportunity of, if we're talking about these swimsuits, there should have been a lot of nice, big, up-close shots of these women in these swimsuits. This would have been like the one time I would have found that to be acceptable because it was the plot of the episode.
But see, here's the weird part. So the swimsuit show goes off without a hitch. Ryo is in the back of the auditorium where they're holding the show with this wistful look on his face. He's not even ogling the models, all right? He's just there looking like...
He's like, I did my job.
I did good today. And all he says is, you know, in Japanese, omedetou. Midori. Like, really over the top.
Congratulations, Midori. And then walks away like a badass. And Midori is back in the wings on stage.
Looking back at him wistfully as well, being like, goodbye, Ryo, my sweetheart.
She says, in English, my sweetheart.
And that's it. And then Get Wild starts playing. It's like, what was going on between you two? Did we miss something? Did you go on a date?
She fell for him after waking up and realizing that he saved his life. And she thought that, does this count as a kiss? I guess this must count as a kiss. And, well, now we have to get married. That's the way those always go. But...
Because you know how many women go default to, Ryo was nice to me, now we have to get married? It's a lot.
Hojo, I need to ask you a few questions.
Ask him these questions.
Do you believe that this is the way getting a woman works? Like, suddenly women decide to throw themselves at you if you're nice to them for a second. I don't know, man. I don't know, Hojo.
Yeah, so that's the episode. There's not a lot to this week's episode.
There's really not. I mean, it was entertaining enough, but I cannot sit here and say, oh, this was really one of the best, can't be missed episodes of City Hunter. Like, if for some reason you ended up sleeping through this particular one, I mean, I wouldn't encourage it, but also you didn't miss much.
No, unfortunately not. Since it's a fashion episode, fashion points where fashion points are due, Cowdy's fit works for anybody.
Sure.
I would wear that. You would wear that.
Probably.
But again, the use of Makimura's glasses, I have to, like, that's my headcanon, is every time Ryo is wearing those glasses, they're just Makimura's.
I think they just only know how to draw one type of glasses.
Really? No.
They're just really easy to draw.
Perhaps. So next week we're going to be dealing with Shrine Maidens and Angry Old Ladies.
Yeah, that one's a really interesting one that's coming up. This was one of these really unique ones that I think kind of breaks the mold of what kind of jobs Ryo takes. So I think you should be looking forward to that one in particular.
Yeah, so that'll be another example of the supernatural elements that the show will address.
I believe, yes,
bit.
just a little.
So we'll have that to look forward to on next week's episode.
So come back next time when we cover the 18th episode of the TV series, A Divine Prophecy on a Summer's Evening. The Shrine Maiden is introduced to love.
If you want to catch us both outside this podcast, you can always find us over on Twitter. I'm at JoshKnightFirst.
And I'm at MarzGurl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 17th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, I'm gonna have Josh get beaten up by an old lady.
Wait, what time and how old?